So in August of last year, I released a video that said that I was going to start an animation studio. I recognize the audacity of such a statement, but I made it anyway because I know it's what I really want to do. Fast forward to March 2021 and I've got a few little updates. The first is that our big series that I've been talking about for a while now is getting chiseled away at like a big block of marble turning into a statue, and it is almost done. I think we're on track to finish the pilot by the end of this month, which is really, really exciting. I am aware that often projects blow out for so many reasons, but it's looking like the end is in sight. This project that I'm talking about, by the way, if you don't follow these videos, is called Hump Wallace. It's about an alien camel trying to make it through high school, whose humps turn magic, but only on a Wednesday. It's hump day. Huh? So we've got this guy, Chris Ovemery, on YouTube. You should definitely check out his channel if you're into animation. He is doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the animating side, and here's a couple of the scenes that he's been chiseling away at. We've got a couple of people on background art, just pumping out background after background after background. All of these by Chelsea McLaughlin, who is just a weapon. All of the vocals are done and recorded and in order, so we can listen to the show start to finish, but there is one gap that we are doing tomorrow, so I'll make sure that I include this in the next video because it's going to be a really, really fun session. We are recording the theme song. The opening credits for Hump Wallace was inspired by two shows, The Wild Thornberrys and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
This is me, Eliza Thornberry.
I really love shows that give you the whole premise in the opening credits.
Oh yeah, about our house. It moves. Because we travel all over the world.
And I love that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rapped it.
Now this is a story all about how.
So that's what Hump Wallace opens with. There's a rap, and it just so happens that the guy that voices Hump, Dante, happens to be a rapper. By the way, if you're into experimental rap, definitely check out Dante Knows. Just a seriously talented dude. Just an amazing musician, great singer, great rapper, and of course a terrific camel. Not much else that I can say on that other than if you know anybody in the TV or streaming world and you think that they should see Hump Wallace, send my business partner Aaron an email at aaron@struthless studios. We gotta sell this thing, man. We gotta make sure that this thing sees the light of day because, you know, the world's gotta know about the camel. Alright, so what else on the studio has been happening? Well, let me show you a video. Woohoo! Yeah. This is the last thing that I had up on my phone roll was a screenshot. ASMR using my frog telephone to call my divorced wife. That's not what I meant to show you. Let me find the actual thing. Where are you? Here it is. Check it out. Where are we?
We are in our possible studio, the second one.
Nice. Where are the windows?
They're inside our minds.
That's my actual laugh. But this studio that you see in this video is this room that I'm sitting in right here. So that is what we did all of January. We renovated.
White people renovating houses.
So we started by just getting all the stuff out of here. It was full of like plasterboard, bits of wood, vacuum cleaners, broken security boxes, just stuff. You know when there's just stuff in places? Yeah, this was a place full of stuff. So we got the stuff out, which revealed all the dirt, which was mostly just dead huntsmen and cockroaches, which we swept out, and then we cleaned all the walls, scrubbed it, and then we painted. For the paint, I was inspired by Memphis design, which is an Italian design movement from the 1980s that most people know, but I wanted it to look more cartoony, organic, illustrated, so it's kind of more on this like gooey pastels. I'm happy about it, man. I'm so happy about this space. We chucked in these floating floorboards, which was a whole task in itself. Then in Felicity's room, which is the middle room, we put up some wallpaper, some nice shiny stuff, and like a kind of wood finish lino so that it can be mopped. The third room is storage, so that's got a lot of stuff from our e-commerce store, a lot of the apparel and coloring books and stuff like that we sell. And there's like a little packing station, that sort of thing. You know what it's about. It's good, man. This is obviously a really, really small space. It is a glorified storage closet that we've turned into a filming studio, but it is our glorified storage closet that we've turned into a filming studio. I feel like right now we're like this tiny little hermit crab in our tiny little shell, and one day we'll outgrow that shell and move into the next shell and then into the next shell until we're a gigantic hermit crab living out of a wheelie bin terrorizing children at the park. Snip, 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 hello children, don't go on the swing, that's where the gigantic hermit crab lives. But until then, we're in our tiny little room, and I love it. I love it. I think it's really cute. It's really nice. One of the big benefits that I've found is, firstly, when you're here, you're working, and secondly, our house has gotten a bit cleaner. So it's no longer full of cardboard and stock and camera gear, and it's nice. It's really nice to have that separation. Things are good, man. Things are so good. I'm so happy. Woo! All right. So we've got the studio space, we're making the animated pilot, but we're also making 2 more animated pilots. That's right, we're working on 3 animated pilots at once. So the pilots are Hump Wallace. We've got a second project that I can't tell you about right now. It's a secret one, but when I can, you better have your seatbelt on. And then the third animated pilot, which we just finished, called Birds of Australia. This was a collaboration between us, Struthless Studios, and Brown Cardigan. If you're an Australian, you definitely know who Brown Cardigan is. If you're not, Brown Cardigan is like an online institution that captures Australia in a way that nobody else does, to the point where Brown Cardigan, the term, is almost like an adjective for when you see something that's just cooked in Australian. They've been posting stuff for more than 10 years. They were early, they stuck around, and they just have really captured so much of what it means to be Australian. Anyway, the guys from Brown Cardigan called me up maybe like 3 months ago and were like, dude, we have an idea for an animated show. Imagine every different Australian stereotype, like every different modern Australian stereotype, but each of them are represented by a different Australian bird. So I said, go on. And then they said, well, imagine like the minor birds, like these sleazy real estate agents. You got CWA ladies represented by swoopy magpies. You got the cooked conspirator whacked out Byron type who's like a bush turkey. And I was like, damn, man, you had me a sleazy real estate agent. Let's do this. So we did this and it was really, really cool. I started on all the character art and that was super fun. Chelsea McLaughlin did all this background art and Ali did a bunch of foreground art. And then we got the cast in, and the cast was all people that I just enjoy working with. If you're my age and Australian, you will definitely know who Fat Pizza is. I was a little bit starstruck and we got them in to play these lorikeets.
Stop talking shit, Terry.
We got Flex Mummy in, we got in Marty Bugatti from 111. We had Ruby Fields and Grace come in, my friend Yasmin, who a lot of people in the fashion world know. It was awesome. The actual animating we got done pretty damn quick. We had some help from this guy Jack Grayson. He actually recently released a short film, a small animated short called Spannerman that I really recommend checking out. So I'll link to that in the description. So all of us are working on this, and the actual animation process took about 10 days. We got it done pretty fast, smashed it out, and all in time for a very hard deadline of a premiere that we had already booked in and a release date on Instagram. But the thing about a concrete deadline is it is a concrete deadline. And with about 30 hours to go on this project, we noticed that there was no through line. So they were kind of just vignettes of birds, which is great for like a pilot because it introduces you to the characters in the world. But if you're watching this and not thinking it's a pilot, then you might lose a bit of context. So we called up Brown Cardigan and we were just like, we are thinking about adding in an entire new character in the next 30 hours and just sticking it in there. We're gonna script, voice record, animate, and put it all in there, and it will tie the whole thing all together. And we said, what do you think? And they said, if that's what's gotta happen, that's what's gotta happen. So we did, and we stuck in this narrator character, and the whole thing just kind of came together.
Our story begins on a little known remote desert island called Australia. A land where yobbos, Sheilas and Eshays all have fishes on the back of their heads called mullets. A big, beautiful brown land where pretty much everything can kill you. Most of it uninhabitable, which makes it great for its flora and fauna, especially the birds.
Now it's got like 250,000 views, and that's awesome. It was really fun. It was written by them, animated by us, but there was a little bit of crossover both ways, wherein we had like a little bit of an influence on the writing and they had a little bit of influence on the animation. So yeah, it was a really nice collaboration. I enjoyed that one. So that's been my past 2 months of work, but also I just wanted to check back in on some of the goals that I set at the start of the year. So my top 5 goals apparently were to finish the Big Secret project. Almost done, so close. To get married if and when the travel ban lifts. I am not a centimetre closer to that goal than I was when I wrote it, but neither is the travel ban, so you know, that's on them. The Hump Wallace pilot, that's nearly done. To make 52 videos that actually help and impact people. This is one that I am lacking on, definitely. I think I've made like 5 videos this year, as opposed to, how many weeks are there thus far? Like 8 or 9? To be flexible, strong, and completely sober. Oh, yes. All right, so we are 3 out of 5. Okay, let me show you something. This is the thing that I am most proud of. Look at this, man. So contextually, I don't know, I've been like struggling with like alcohol and drugs for most of my younger life, but check this out. January, these green ticks means no alcohol and no drugs. Isn't this awesome? And then the yellow one means that I was in a situation where there was a lot of temptation. So that's like a super tick. That's like everybody was drinking, it was a hot summer's day, somebody had put a frosty stone and wood in front of me, and I was like, no, I am not a sinner. I was like, I wonder if I can do 2 months and it got to the 19th, and here it says learn Campbell. Then the Birds premiere came out, and then it was my friend's birthday. But other than those 4, we're back on the straight and narrow, got some green ticks happening again, and I genuinely think that it feels like a superpower. And I know I sound like a meme, you know, like preachy, sober person. I can hear it, and I also don't like it on myself. But damn man, it is serving me in the moment, so I'm gonna continue. And on that note, I'll explain why I made this video. I made it because I think it's really easy when we set goals to get caught up into turning them into prerequisites for happiness. You can't feel good unless you achieve these 9 things. Looking at my list, I see a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not on track to do, but looking at myself, I'm really happy at the moment. The point of this video is to remember the point of our goals. They're not just boxes to be ticked, but vehicles for fulfillment, growth, change in a nicer world around us. Anyway, remember that as you check in with your goals, to check in with yourself first. Have a beautiful day. Damn, I really do mean that. Catch it.